Good afternoon and good evening to you all, and welcome to another session of What's the Point? Exploring the meaning of purpose behind what we do and how having purpose in business makes a massive difference to where we go. My name's Andrew Miller from Business Enjoyment, and one of the key factors around enjoying your business is having that sense of purpose. It's a key anchor stone. Hopefully you've seen my TEDx talk, which goes into that a little bit more. The link should come up into the stream very soon, but if not, I'll certainly post it in there later on, and you can find it on my LinkedIn page as well. So have a look for that. Let me just close that down. So today we have Tom Kereszti, who is a leadership expert. We had a discussion about 8 months ago, and you can hear that on our I just got the right one. Yeah, you can hear that on our podcast, which is out now. And again, if you wanted to listen to that, then by all means check that out. It's called the Tingle Zone. So have a listen to that one. Let me just move that back because that has just crashed. Okay. Anyway. I brought the thing on and I tested it earlier on. I thought, well, do you know what? I'll put the podcast link in, and but when you test it, you can't bring it back again. So there we go. Look for the Tingle Zone. Anyway, let's bring Tom on. Let's have a conversation, find out what he's up to in the last 8 months or so, and find out what is the point of Tom Kereszti. Welcome, Tom. How are you doing? We're both having technical challenges today. It sounds like you've had a few more than me. You've had your computer dying.
We're living on the bleeding edge, as they say, right?
But you got here, so fantastic. Well done. Thanks for coming. And so it's been a while since we caught up. It was great for me to, obviously I've edited your podcast recently, so for me it's a fresher conversation that we had. But for the people listening, watching, let's just find out a little bit more about you. So to get the concept across, what would you say your mission is? What is it that drives you for what you do?
Making people better.
Excellent. Nice and succinct. Why is that important to you, and what do you mean by it?
Well, I like making products better. I like making companies better. I like making people better because, look, we're all about growth. The day I stop growing is the day I'm 6 foot under. And, I hope everybody's growing. I hope every company's growing the right way. I hope every individual's growing. And it's my obligation, it's my honor to add value to people and making better versions of themselves.
Beautiful. Can't argue with that. If you were to sort of give one or two pieces of advice to any business owner and or leader of teams, what would be the key things you think people should be taking forward? May not.
We talked about this during our podcast, but two things. One, it's not about you, but the second thing, it is about you. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, it's about you in the sense that, look, people buy into you. And you have to be fairly sure of who you are and what you're all about for people to buy into you. Otherwise, they're not going to follow you. You're not going to be their leader. And it's not about you because it should be something much bigger than about you. Right? It should be about a long-term vision. It should be something about a great thing to change in the world, or again, if it's just about what you want, then you're not going to be a successful leader. So you have to build something much bigger that people can buy into, people can get excited about, and then they'll jump on board and come along. And in order for them to come along, they have to know who you are, and you have to be sure of who you are so they can buy into you. Make sense?
Oh, totally. Absolutely. I'm intrigued when you're working with the people you work with, how much are you doing in helping them, A, understand themselves, and B, find that bigger vision? Or are they coming to you with those sort of things already in place to help them move forward from there?
Well, look, if I come up with a vision and say, this is the vision, people may not buy into it. I think the success of any large scope objective, whether it's the vision, whether it's the project, whatever, is to have the people in a room come up with it, and for them to build it, for them to own it, and to be part of it. Because if it's just mine, then it's about me. I'm telling you what to do. If everybody buys into it, we come up collaboratively, then buying is much easier.
So what I'm trying to get is how do you help them find that mission? I think that's, and I appreciate it's got to come from them, but you're doing something to open up that space and get them to look forward and bigger.
Well, one of the things is, look, many things, but one of the things is to get the right people in a room. I talk about always diverse thinking teams where every individual brings different types of skill sets to the table. They view the world differently. They view problem solving differently. And with the same objectives, you're going to have many solutions. And the more diverse minds you have in the room, the better your solution is going to be. So one step is really get, the individuals in the room who diverse thinkers can really chew on a problem and come up with a great solution that they can all agree on.
Mm. Yeah, so and yeah, anybody at any level, they don't, for people to get up, get clear about where they want to go. They don't, if their team's not that large, if they're a sort of individual in charge, they can still get access to that kind of diversity from different areas, aren't they? It doesn't need to be someone in the business. It's just get ideas and get sort of inspiration from, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I had that way back in my career early on, where I was in a room and, me and this guy Jack from corporate headquarters in New York kind of dominated the room with our personalities. I mean, we're both, high, alpha types, right? So we took over the meeting, and we were kind of just, not barking orders, but really setting the agenda for the meeting, setting the outcomes of the meetings. And it dawned on me, as I looked around the room at about 45 minutes an hour in the meeting, it dawned on me that says, I just see like blank faces. Jack and I are doing all the talking, and I see blank faces, and there's like there's freaking no buy-in on this thing at all. We feel good about ourselves because we're alpha males or whatever you want to call it, but there's no buy-in. So I just kind of had to jam the brakes on, stop, and go back to ground zero to get people to engage and buy in.
Excellent, yeah. So, reminder to everybody in the podcast, the Tingle Zone, we have a chat with Tom. We find out more about his background, how he got to where he got to. Give some fantastic tips on leadership and a way to think about things. But as I say, that was 8 months ago, and a lot can happen in 8 months. So to bring us up to speed, what's been going on for you in the last 8 months? What have you learned? Because we're always learning and we're always growing, as you say. So what have been your growth opportunities and what you're learning in the last 8 months?
Look, every day you learn. One of the things that I'm working on right now is a leadership conference in San Diego. It's called Lift to Lead. That will happen October 20th. So a lot of preparation going up to that, getting the right people in the room. We're probably expecting between 253 to 300 leaders in the local San Diego community, and really a lot of preparation to make that agenda to be, an agenda that actually adds value to people, and they feel energized and learn something when they walk out of the room. They can make their lives better. So that's just one of the things that I'm doing, but there's 100 others.
And what was your inspiration about setting up this Lift to Lead?
Well, I don't know if I shared this with you, but I'm part of the John Maxwell organization, and John does his simulcast from Atlanta once a year. It's always in October, and he always has some really great keynote speakers. Like this year, it's obviously it's John. Pat Valenciano is one of them as well. So some really inspirational leadership authorities. So you get people in a room, they get to participate and learn from these great leaders. And we also kind of mix it up with local flavor, with local leaders, panels, roundtables, masterminds. So it'll be an exciting 6 hours.
And physical only, is it? No online element to it at all?
Well, the online element is because obviously to get those 6 guys into a room, it's quite expensive. So So they, you're not going to pay them 50, 60 grand each to get them into the room. That'd be the ticket sales would be kind of cost prohibitive. So it is simulcast in the sense that you see them on stage, but on a large screen. But there's a local element to it where we have local panels, which are local experts. We have the local masterminds. We have the local discussions. We have a blending of some local Q&A and local speakers. So it's a good blend of local and global.
But for people attending, it's for local people only, or are people able to log in from outside and see some of the stuff?
So the attendees, the people that are attending are really from the San Diego area because it's a local event. Usually people from Houston are not going to fly into San Diego for an event. So it's a local event, but it gets simulcast out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. So if people wanted to sort of see that simulcast, how would they?
Yeah, they could. There's a way to. It's a private event, so you have to buy tickets, whether you're attending online or in person. If you're attending online, you can go to our website and you'll see some links on how to attend online. Or if you want to come in person in San Diego, you'll also see that as well.
Yeah, perfect. And all your links you can. It's on the show page of the podcast. We're on LinkedIn. If you can't find it, there's ways.
I'll get you the link, especially for the. Because I'm guessing your audience is not going to be coming to San Diego, so I'll get you the link for the simulcast that you can attend anywhere virtually.
Yeah, that'd be perfect because it's widespread. So we've got people in the States, it's all over the place. So it'd be useful. What's intrigued? Where is San Diego at the moment in terms of having live events? Obviously having them, but I mean, is there still some sort of post-pandemic kind of
hesitation about coming back into physical thing, or is that kind of just a thing of the past and it's like back to I think it's a thing of the past. I think, look, there's going to be a certain small fraction of people who are going to be afraid. I mean, you see people still singing in a car by themselves with a mask on driving. I mean, I can't figure it out, but but there's a small element that does that, right? So they're kind of afraid to do anything. But the majority of folks kind of got over it. They say, look, COVID is part of our. I think this is like the fourth strain of COVID that we've had, and now it boils down to having something similar to a common cold. So I think people are over it. They realize that it's going to be always with us, and it's something that just we live with and we go on with our lives.
Yeah. That's similar to here, but there's still people that just think being mindful of these things when they set up, or finding they set up the physical things, and it's harder to get people to attend. But I wonder what challenge you have. What's been the biggest challenge?
I saw a guy in a convertible. San Diego, you have beautiful weather. I see a guy in a convertible car with a mask on. I'm like, what? Seriously now?
Yeah, there's normally a proximity issue. I mean, at least that's arguably slightly better than people who've actually got the filters in their cars and got the windows up and the roof on. That makes sense. So that's October, do you say? October, that conference, did you say?
I'm sorry?
You say October the conference was in?
Yeah, October. So if you the way it's going to work is on October 7th, if you want to simulcast virtually, then your date will be October 7th at 9 a.m. Standard Eastern Time. And then our event in San Diego, which is the in-person event, is going to be October 20th. That allows us to download all the files, slice them up so it meets our agenda, and allows us to get the local flavor inserted into the whole day. So our event is going to be October 20th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and the simulcast event, which is if you want to watch it anywhere in the world live feed, will be on October 7th, 9 a.m. in Eastern time.
Beautiful. What have been the biggest challenges for you in pulling this together?
Kind of funny because again, it's buying into me, right? Why do people want to come? People want to come because they understand that John Maxwell is a is a leader, and he's going to surround himself with quality individuals, but they also believe that Tom is going to put on a local event that adds value to them, that they will learn from, that they will grow from. They'll be able to meet other folks there who are other, San Diego business leaders. So it's kind of buying into two things, buying into the fact that they will grow through either Tom or through John or some of the other speakers. So that's always a challenge, convincing people that, it's a worthwhile investment because it's going to be a great venue and it's going to be a great program they can grow and learn from.
Mm. Well,
I guess it's called marketing, I guess, right?
Well, I was going to go with that because I mean, I imagine you've got a reasonable network of contacts anyway, so you can be reaching out for the keyboard. But presumably there's a lot of people which is essentially cold. You've never met me before, get to know them, sort of thing. So, what did you find most successful in getting through from total cold, don't know Odie, to somebody, hey, I want to be part of your show?
Well, some people say, look, you reach out to somebody once or twice and you give up and they don't come. They're in old days, there used to be reach and frequency. Whenever you did an advertising campaign, and this was the old days when you had, national television instead of, now they're targeted campaigns or social media. But in the old days, it was 65% reach, and you had a 7-time frequency. So people had to look at that commercial 7 times before they sunk in. And it's pretty much, that formula still stands today. You're going to reach out to somebody, you're going to have to reach out to them probably about 5, 6, 7 times. And you shouldn't be shy. You're not stalking them, but it takes a number of touch points to really continue that dialogue and get them to understand and get them to buy into the idea.
Mm. And so you just try anything and everything, all kinds of different things, and ultimately getting a conversation and then building trust.
Persistence pays off.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, good luck with the conference. I imagine that's going to be filling up a lot of your time in the next couple of months. Have you got sights ahead of that as to where you're going and what's coming up beyond that?
Like I said last time you and I talked, we're still working on 2 more extensions of the first book. So one on culture, one on team building. So that's in the works, and that usually takes a while. Books are not written in 2-3 months. So the last one took me about close to 2 years to launch. So then it'll take a few more months before I get that onto the bookshelves. Are
you just going to send out a second edition of the first book, which is the C-Suite and Beyond? And we'll just mention that. Unlock Your Potential with the 4 Keys to Leadership Success.
The idea is just to, we have the 4 keys, and then you kind of do a deep dive in each one of the keys. So in C-Suite and Beyond, we talk about the 4 keys. The first key is culture. The second key is vision. The third key is strategic growth. And our fourth key is, team. And so I'm doing a deep dive on the first and the fourth. I may combine 2 and 3 into 1. I'm not sure. But right now I'm kind of writing in parallel because some ideas come into my head. They say, well, that would fit better into the team portion of the book, or that would fit better in the culture portion of the book. So kind of simultaneously getting those ideas down and writing 2 books at the same time, depending on what story comes into my mind and how it flows. I kind of put into one book or another. So that's a work in process right now.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's the thing. We can be flexible, can't we? It's getting I say with a book, get the content done first, and then worry about what you do with it.
There you go.
So I managed to work out how to get the link onto the screen. So there's a link there to the podcast, and we go into the 4 keys in a bit more detail and how you came up with those. So there's much more stuff in there. Find out about it. Tom, is there anything else you'd like listeners to absorb, take away before we head off and leave them for the rest of the day?
Just enjoy life. I usually, when asked an open-ended question, I think you asked me this last time, so at the expense of repeating myself, I will. Look, any great leader has to answer 3 questions for themselves. The first question is, who are you? And you have to have a good sense of identity to what your values are, what you're all about. Because if you don't know who you are, people are not going to know who you are, and they're not going to buy into you. The second question is, what are you passionate about? And look, if you're not passionate about something, and people look at you and they say, well, heck, Tom's not passionate about it. Why should I get excited about it, right? So passion is extremely important. And the third one is, what are you good at? Right? So nobody likes to follow incompetence. So you better be good at what you're doing if you want people to buy into you. I don't like to get political, but I'm going to do a little joke, and it's a little joke, but unfortunately, it's a little serious. I mean, if you look at the president of the United States today, he's having a tough time, people believing that he's a good leader. First of all, if you answer those three questions for that guy, it's like, who are you? Half the time he doesn't know who he is. He's just, he's up on stage and half the time he doesn't know who he is. So sometimes he thinks he's a senator, sometimes he thinks he's a vice president. He has no clue. Second, I mean, I haven't seen that guy passionate about anything. He's just not passionate about it. And third, a lot of people just think he's totally, senile and incompetent. So it's difficult to follow, somebody. And look, you got to respect the Oval Office because it is the president of the United States. But just unfortunately, the individual that's representing the office right now, it's difficult to follow because he just fails badly in all three of those questions. So I hope I didn't piss off your audience with that, but I thought it was kind of a little, funny statement. But unfortunately, there's a little dose of reality to it as well.
Well, you're one ahead of us. You've actually got a leader. We don't have one of them. Oh, yeah. There we go. Tom, thank you so much for coming back on and just giving a quick update. I think you're sort of took some time out to do this, so appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Right, and let me just bring myself back up to full screen and say farewell to everyone. So do have a listen to the podcast with Tom and find out more about this. Some great insights in there about leadership, difference in authority and leadership, how you should treat your business and family in similar ways. There's lots of great stuff in there. So please do have a listen to that podcast. Other than that, thank you so much for paying attention and listening in. And I'll be doing more lives over the coming weeks. So do keep an eye out for that. Register interest and be different stuff and different people, different passions, different purposes. But that's it from me for now. My name's Andrew Miller from Business Enjoyment, and I want you to enjoy your business so much.